Hello everybody and welcome to my Q&A video. I'm glad you guys are here. Alright, so basically this video is exactly what it sounds like. It's a question and answer video. Booyah! Here we go. Let's get it started. Alright, so how this is going to work is I'm going to give everybody a shout out who asked me a question. I'm going to say, so-and-so asked me this. And then I'm going to respond, and then I'm going to actually ask a question to the person back. I'm going to ask them something else. Just trying to get you guys engaged, involved with my videos. There's only a few questions here. But as you guys watch this, if you guys tune into this, feel free to ask more questions, and I can always make another video. And for those of you who did ask questions, feel free to leave comments in the comment section below to answer my question to you. So let's start. Alright, so my first and most important question comes from Brandon Simmons. He says, why did you want to start vlogging? Well, for me, two things. It starts with two things. For one, I like to try new things. Okay, it starts with three things. For one, I like to try new things. For two, I really like to talk. And for three, I really love to be on camera. But the most important thing, the main reason I decided to start making videos was because my best friend Marcos was talking to me the other day, or I was talking to him, and I was telling him all about my life and all these things I was going through, and I'm not going to get into that yet. That can be a different video someday. But I was telling him about all these different things, and he just reacted like so much. He's like, oh my god, dude. He's like, you need to make videos, like, or publish this, or write it out, or something, because your life is crazy, like, and like, people would think it's so entertaining. So I was like, well, shit, maybe I will, you know? So that's kind of the reason I'm here. My friend Marcos talked to me about it, and it sounded like a fun idea, so I'm just trying it out. So yeah, my question in return to Brandon then is, how long have you been vlogging? And do you have any advice for me or any feedback after watching this video? Brandon also vlogs, if you guys did not catch that. But thank you for your question, Brandon. I really appreciate that. So let's see. My next question comes from Mary Quails, Mary Q. She says, this is a long one, so I'll read it. She says, what do you think about the legalization of medical and recreational marijuana? So first I'll start with that question. What do I think about the legalization of medical and recreational marijuana? I'm all for it, obviously. There's nothing more that needs to be said about that. It says, do you believe that people in prison solely for the crime of having small amounts of marijuana only, no violent crimes, should be prisoned if the state they were arrested in legalizes cannabis? Or should they be pardoned? Sorry. This is my whole opinion on the legalization and the criminalization of marijuana. This is my whole opinion. I really like I like documentaries, and Michael Moore makes a good documentary called Where to Invade Next. It's a film where he goes to Norway, and he goes to Europe, and he goes to all these different places in Europe, and he just learns how the people in Europe live. And one of the parts that they talk about is that all drugs have been decriminalized, and the benefits of the drugs being decriminalized. And I think that's interesting, and that's what I think about when it comes to the legalization of like recreational or medical marijuana. Is, in my opinion, I think everything should be decriminalized. I think people should be allowed to do whatever drugs they want to do. Like, and that sounds bad maybe, but it's true. Like, why not? Like, why are we not allowed to do drugs? Is like our society afraid of like what people are gonna do when we are able to like alter our minds and like expand our consciousness? Or I don't know, like, so to me, I think all drugs should be decriminalized, in my opinion, including like crack and cocaine and heroin, all those things, because I think if they were decriminalized, it'd be easier for people to reach out for help. Because I think addiction, I think drug abuse is not a legal issue, it's a health issue. So and my question for you, Mary, is then, what is your opinion of decriminalizing all drugs? If we did that in the USA, what do you think would happen, and what do you think the result of that would be? All right. That was a good question, though. Thank you, Mary. All right. Matt Deering asked me the next question. He says, "Do you like rock/metal music? If so, pick a favorite song." TBH, I do not like rock or metal, and this is why. When I listen to rock or metal, it automatically makes me feel a little bit anxious. Um, but I'll leave it there. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So, what I can tell you though is I do like electronic dance music. Go figure, right? But I also really, really enjoy South African music. And my favorite South African artist, his name is Shava, or something like that. I don't even know. But my favorite album by him is called Insina Muhu. And my favorite song on his album is called Dolly. So, yeah, like I said, I really like South African music. It's weird, but I do. What about you, Matt? Can you recommend a rock or a metal song to me, and I'll check it out. All right, I got a few more questions from Sarah. She asked me a couple. So Sarah McKinney asked me, "What is your favorite ice cream?" My favorite ice cream is the Butterfinger ice cream. Oh, I would die for that. It's so good. It says your next couple tattoos. Well, I'm gonna get right here in a couple days. Actually, I'm getting. It's gonna say, "Forgive me for all the ways I've tried to kill my pain." Um, I'll just talk about that one because I've got many more planned, but that one is the next one. Where is your favorite place to give you peace? Well, AA meetings. And AA meetings are something I will talk about in these videos, in coming videos. But AA meetings are my favorite place to go for peace, that's for sure. So my question for Sarah is then, what's one thing you are grateful for, and what is one thing that you think you take for granted? All right, and my last and favorite question, it's kind of long, but it comes from Mason Dravenstead. Mason D, here we go. It says, when life gives you heartache and sorrow, when the light in your life starts to dim, and when you thought you'd be a phoenix rising from your ashes, only to find out that you're just burnt out and left with a smoldering ember, being slowly smothered by those ashes that once burned so bright, what will you do? Oh my God, that's beautifully written, Mason. Thank you for asking me that question. I'm gonna give you guys a point of contrast. I'm gonna tell you guys. Okay, so if all that shit that he just explained, if that would have happened to me, let's say a year ago, this is what I would have done. I would have drank. I would have drank my. I would have drank a lot. I probably would have drank until I blacked out. I probably would have smoked a lot of weed. Probably would have avoided the issue completely. I would have done nothing proactive to try to change my condition. I'd probably just feel bad for myself, but also silence myself so no one would know how bad I feel. Um, but that was a year ago. The point I'm at now, though, to give you a point of contrast, is now, when life becomes too much for me, and when I feel the way that Mason described in his question, I pick up my phone and I call anybody. I call my sponsor, I call my friends, I call people in my family. Like, I just pick up the phone. Because if you can pick up the phone and make a phone call, like, you feel that much less alone. And I really love, like I said, I like to go to AA meetings. Because those, you walk in feeling so misunderstood and so separate and alone. But when you leave, you feel so connected. And it feels so, so good. Um, and honestly, like, I guess the main thing I do when I'm feeling that down is, like I said, I just try to reach out and I try to talk to someone and I try to talk through it, because if you're open about your own story, it makes it easier for people to be open about theirs. And when people are open to you about their story and you're open about your story, it creates a connection and you feel a lot less alone. So when I feel down and I feel burnt out and I feel like I'm not going to make it, I just reach out because you can, and other people are your lifeline. They really are. You can't do it alone, and if you could, you'd be fine, but you can't. There's nothing you can do alone. We need other people. Alright, so my question for Mason then is, tell me about a moment in your life that resulted in feeling the way that you described. And those are all the questions I got. So thank you, everybody, for asking me some questions. I hope I answered them well. But I appreciate it. And like I said, we can always do another Q&A video because there wasn't many questions in that one. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Thanks, everybody.